Hi everyone, I'm Ash. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you see behind me, that is Olaf sniffing around. So say hi to Olaf. As you've probably already heard, seen, whatever, that Meghan Markle has released another video. Now, I want to go ahead and say that if she wants to pursue the influencer route, I don't judge that. I mean, they need a job, so, I'm not going to sit here and defame her for trying to make the most of her. I mean, it's not popularity. I don't really, infamy, I guess would be the right term. So that doesn't bother me. But what does irritate me and continues to irritate a lot of people is using her platform to showcase how good she is. So my biggest takeaway from this is not the good deed, not the name dropping. It is how many times can Meghan Markle say I or reference herself in, what was this, a minute and a half? Because I counted over 20 and I probably missed a couple. It's so processed. It's so over the top. I mean, the exaggerations. Now, I've seen people say she plays with her hair too much. I play with my hair all the time. It's a little nervous gesture. I don't fault her for that. If she's a nervous person, which she seems to be, I get it. I'm constantly rearranging, shifting, whatever. But the over-the-top exaggerations, the oh my gosh, the seal clap, anything like this is just performative and exaggerated and frankly just annoying. Like, you don't have to tell us every time you do something good. Normal people don't go around and say, hey, I did a good deed today. I donated to this place, or I gave this much money to charity, or I did this, pat me on the back, applaud me. So I said in my last video, I think they're going to monetize the kids. I really can't see that not happening this year, if I phrase that correctly. I don't know if it'll happen at Invictus. I'm guessing its signs are certainly leaning that way. Here's what gets me is the Archie and Lilibet on the sweater. Is this going to be a merch thing? Is she going to be selling this? And the, again, performative, I've kind of done my hair the same way. Like, oh, make sure you see what's on my sweater. And it's so frustrating to me because you can't see the kids. You can't talk about the kids. Don't tell anything about the kids. Don't show them. Make sure everything's Photoshopped. Make sure it's highly processed or colorized or whatever. But make sure you know I'm a mom. And make sure you always mention that I'm a mom. I mean, we're only into February right now, and I think it's coming. I don't think Harry wants that to happen. I would be very surprised based on the truth. I'm very careful with how I say that because they've lied so much. But based on the truth that we used to know about him, he did not want his kids to be used in that way. But he also didn't want his kids to have titles. We knew that pre-2019. I believe that was the last time it was mentioned, that they didn't want, Harry did not want his kids to have titles. He wanted them to go the Princess Anne route or the Prince Edward route, which makes sense. So if you don't know, Princess Anne declined titles for her children. That's why Zara Tindall and Peter Phillips don't have them. And Prince Edward has allowed his children to choose when they're 18, and only one's gotten to be 18 so far. So that's Lady Louise, and she chose to remain Lady Louise. And their son James, we'll see if he decides to become prince when he's 18, but it's his choice. It's not something that is, I don't want to say foisted upon them because that makes it sound like a negative thing, but they're leaving it, they're not in line to the crown directly, so they're leaving it up to them whether they want to be impacted in that way. And I get that completely. Like the Wales children, they should have titles. They are the current direct line. Now, as they age, my personal thought is I don't think Charlotte and Louis' children should have titles. It may fall to them. There may be new letters of patent. There may be, new laws to follow at that time where they don't even get that option. I really agreed with Charles's streamlined monarchy approach where, if you get too far away from the crown, you've just got these random people holding titles. And I think that's why it's good that, I can never pronounce this correctly. I think it's Duke of Edinburgh. It's Edinburgh. Prince Edward, why his title will revert back to the crown after he dies. And I know some people don't agree with that because it should be his, it should go to James. My thought is it's a very special title. It is the prince consort held it, and now the queen's son holds it. But if you get too far away, so you get James passing it to his potential son and so on, and it gets so far away from the crown, it's no longer special anymore. Now, do I feel like that should happen with every single title in England? No. Got off on a bit of a tangent there. So anyway, enough about that video. And since I'm going to go ahead and dive into it, I'll kind of backtrack from when I had the flu and some of the little news bites that, hit the airwaves at that time. And one that caught my eye was Wendell Pierce on his new show, Elspeth, I think is the name, having a Meghan Markle line. Now, I don't know this actor, much of his work. I know that he played her father on Suits, so it's not outside the realm of possibility that, he likes her. He feels paternal towards her. I have no idea, really. But it would not take much to guess that that's how he feels. Granted, the last time I saw him mentioned in the press, it said he had not had contact with her since 2018. So I found it very curious that he would mention this, and it was in character, it was in the show, and it said the global press was already trying to frame Meghan Markle, and she wasn't even there. Just kind of a little dig, a little joke, I guess. So I found this curious because this came out, it's the first episode of the new year, and it came out after the Vanity Fair article with time to edit it out, and so was this really the stance the showrunners wanted to take on this issue, that they wanted to kind of align with this false narrative that the press is targeting her? They're not targeting her. They're not trying to frame her, as the line said. They're exposing the truth about her, finally. And so those who line up on the other side of the line, I just feel like you're not going to gain viewership from this. You're not going to enhance your popularity as a result of coming to the defense of Meghan Markle. So I found it just very curious, especially because from all I know about Wendell Pierce, and I don't know if I've seen him act in anything. I should go to IMDb and check on that. But I have no idea what he's been in. But I do know, and I had to look up the date because I knew it had been a while. I know in 2016, this man was arrested for battery of a female. Now, devil's advocate, it never went to trial. He said that the release narrative was not how it actually played out, so I'll give him that. I don't know how true it is because it didn't go to trial. What we know is he got off an elevator at a hotel and saw a woman, and I think it was two women, sitting in the hallway, and he struck up a political conversation with them. That seemed kind of random, but who knows? I mean, maybe they were wearing shirts that said who they were for. I'm not getting political at all. This channel will not get political. It's just about the story itself. What we know is that it seems like the conversation might have gotten heated, maybe, based on the story I read. He followed her to her hotel room, and all we know after that is that he was arrested for battery. I really have no idea of the details beyond that since it didn't go to trial. But my thought is, I am not going to really put much weight in a man's opinion of a woman who has been arrested for the battery of another woman. So I don't feel like he has the best judgment to, even in character on a TV show, to be essentially lecturing us on our opinions, even in this little stupid throwaway line. And meanwhile, another D-lister, well, maybe I shouldn't call Wendell Pierce a D-lister because I feel like, a little tangent here for me, I feel like a C-list person is somebody that you recognize or someone name recognition a little bit. You don't really know. You have to, what I said earlier, you have to go to IMDb and see what they've been in. I feel like that's C-list. But you know what? He got arrested for battery, so I'm going to automatically say, for my personal judgment, he's a D-lister. So yes, in another D-lister story, Abigail Spencer, who is, in my opinion, firmly on that list, because that is the "who are you again" list of celebrities. I had to actually look her up. I had to see what she'd been in besides Suits, which I've never actually watched. And the most notable role to me was that she played Blah Blah on How I Met Your Mother in one episode 20 years ago almost.
Kids, back in the fall of 2007, I was dating this girl named... Oh God, what was her name? It's been 23 years, I can't remember all this stuff. For the sake of the story, let's call her...
Everyone, this is Blah Blah.
Please call me Blah.
And she decided to come out and say that we are about to see the real Megan or something along those lines with her new show. Well, haven't we seen the real Megan? Because I feel like all we've seen over the years is the real Megan coming out. And we've seen her. We don't like her. We don't need to see another variation of the real Megan. We saw it allegedly when she was a royal. We saw it during Mexit. We saw it during Oprah. We saw her during what? Netflix. And then Archetypes was supposed to be the real Megan. I believe the Cut interview was also supposed to be the real Megan. So we've seen the real Megan a lot. And it's okay for us to say we don't like the real Megan. And she was quoted as saying, "It's very painful as a friend, but she is the most glorious human being on the planet. And so we just have to get behind her and support her." Blah, blah, blah. Glorious human beings do not have Vanity Fair articles saying that they put their employees in long-term therapy as a result of bullying. Those two just don't mesh. That doesn't work. She really just seems to want to fit that Jessica Mulroney category of being Meghan Markle's BFF, and someone should really tell her how that worked out for Jessica, because where is she these days? You don't have to keep telling us how kind and glorious and wonderful human beings are. We don't need to be told by third parties how kind somebody is. I mean, I think of automatically Dolly Parton, Henry Winkler always has good things said about him, Keanu Reeves, the Princess of Wales. They don't need friends coming out all the time and telling how wonderful they are and what glorious human beings they are. Now, that's not to say they never get negative press, but we don't need to have a counter narrative because we can actually see what they do. You know, with Meghan, all we see is Mimi. You know, look at me. What have I done? What good have I done? Pat me on the back. Give me attention. Give me free headlines. You're not a royal anymore. You don't represent anyone but yourself. So all of this is just doing nothing to help your image. But I do have a question for Wendell Pierce and Abigail Spencer, and that is, how long have you been employed by Meghan Markle? When did she hire you? Because it's her employees that she's been bullying. So why do we care what D-listers think when there's never been a single story in the media that says, oh, she bullied her co-stars, she bullied her friends, she bullied her acquaintances. That's never happened. So I thought I was done for the day, and then I went online and I saw that the secret Christmas card has magically appeared online, and to the shock of no one, really. I mean, is anyone surprised at this point? I think we all speculated that it would be showing up as soon as it was announced that a secret Christmas card existed. Apparently, it was in Gloria Steinem's home, featured in Architectural Digest on a table, and that just screams commercialization to me. I mean, it may as well be a Pepsi bottle sitting there or park a Mercedes-Benz outside. It's like a movie tie-in promo. So, you know, it's just so tacky at this point, isn't it? But as far as the picture itself goes, is anyone surprised that Meghan Markle is the center of attention in it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know, where the children are concerned, if there's no Photoshop or AI or manipulation in any way, then the children are beautiful. I would be shocked if the children weren't beautiful. but it is black and white, so you can't see the details that we've known or photoshopped in the past, like Archie has auburn hair, Archie has bright red hair, Archie has dark brown hair. And, you know, Betty is alleged to have blue eyes. We've never seen any proof of that. Not that it's a big deal, but it's yet another potential lie in the many lies. So, but you know, as far as the card goes, it's a very cute card. I wouldn't look twice at it. They're celebrity kids. You know, we haven't seen them grow up like we have royal children. So there's no connection there. It's the same as any other celebrity kid where, oh, they're adorable, they're beautiful. Just keep scrolling, move on to the next one. But obviously the commercialization has begun. So you know what? I'm just going to end on a positive note and say the children are beautiful and leave it at that. So thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye-bye.